Hello, folks.
Hey Jess, how's it going?
Not too bad. We'll give another couple minutes. This is a short agenda today. Ah, there you go. I've been hearing about defense unicorns a bit. I think I went to I first learned about you all like a year ago at Open Source Summit. Was it who presented there? It was a really good presentation about how you did like a registry from pulled together a bunch of bits of images in config maps or something.
Yeah, it was Jeff McCoy.
Yeah,
Actually, that's how I heard about Defense Unicorns was there as well.
cool. Yeah, I was impressed. All right, let's thank you for joining. Hey Hong Chao.
Hey.
I guess let's just go ahead and share some things. Talk if there's anything else, and then we'll share this with the group and they can watch. So the agenda items, I put a couple things on there. So I'll cover those. The first one is that interesting development the past, I guess, week or two. We've been pursuing how to publish the white paper for the platforms group. And so we wanted to put it in a website like the Cloud Native Maturity Model and a couple other sites. And as we were doing that, we were like, wait, it's a Hugo static site generated from, stuff in GitHub. We already have that. We have half of a Jekyll site. So why don't we combine them all? And then we can publish the existing white papers, future white papers, blog posts, and everything. Plus, why don't we at the same time, the framework that the rest of CNCF uses is Hugo, like contribute.cncf.io, maturity model.cncf.io, glossary.cncf.io. They all look this way. So we started pursuing that so because right now we're on Jekyll, and it was just kind of something we hacked together in a weekend, so wasn't anything huge. So we reached out to Chris Anishik and Chris Abraham, the leads in the CNCF and an engineering manager in CNCF, and they said they'll help us and they'll put the scaffold in, put a little structure. If you look at that site that I put in the notes, contribute.cncf.io, that's kind of what we looked at when we were giving feedback to them. So I just wanted to share kind of the thought is the same kind of arrangement with the top nav bar and sub menus. You'd be able to click the top nav bar. The main headers right now would be posts and white papers. When you click posts, you would see on the left nav bar the post that we've made. For now, probably just a flat thing. And then if you click on white papers, you would see on the left nav bar the white papers. Maybe if we can get into the details, maybe if you click the white papers, then you get into the sections of the white papers, something like that. So I guess, there is an issue open. I probably should have put that into the notes here. So if you can give feedback here now, or if you want to chime in there or help out, I'll put it into the notes.
Just one question, like, is there so you mean like there's already a template that we can copy from, whether it's like Jekyll or Hugo, right?
Yeah, so like what started us down this path is, I'll paste it in the chat here for now rather than in the notes, but is Cartographos, somebody that helped them was like, why don't you do the same thing for this paper? And then we discover, like, look, it's the repo for glossary. It's literally the top level. I'm going to show you. Paste it. Oop. Paste it in here. And even that contribute one, which I'm not sure where it is exactly, the repo. Maybe it's also up here. So Chris has built, yeah. Oh, it's public archive, so I don't know. In fact, oh, you know what? Now that you mention it, there's actually a doc on the contribute page that says how to do it. Let me see if I can find it. Contributing guide. Here it is. This I should put in the notes, so I will. Current contributing guide. So that's the Golden Path template. I don't know what exactly. Minimum viable platform. Not too much of platforms. How to build it. Hongchao, we were thinking that Chris will do the initial scaffold, and Colin Griffin is just someone that's in the platforms group, is giving him some input. And you're also, we have a thread in Slack, you're on it too, you can give some input with the leads. Yeah, so Chris will put the scaffold in our thing, and we can go from there. Kind of the thought.
Yeah, sure. I think the general layout and the images are something that we need some template from. Other than that, we can just tweak the CSS and those layouts very easily. Yeah, I can help with that too.
Awesome. Yeah, so Hongchao, I started a thread just with the tag leads and Chris. So if you want to chime in there, you can, or chime in on the issue, or just see what he does. He said that he'll have a PR probably for us next week. And either he or I will share it with everyone. He's in
Cool.
So he's close
Yeah.
to, he's in Thailand, so the time zone is a little tricky. Yeah, so I'm just pausing here. Anything else on the website? The next thing I wanted to bring up here, I brought it up in the Ouija platforms, but I kind of think it maybe is a higher level. Like it is worth bringing up with the whole tag, which is that now that we're about done with the definitions white paper, I mean, it's not done. Nothing's ever done. We're going to iterate and get better. I always like to say, emphasize that. But we have it in a good place. We think it's valuable. I certainly think it's valuable. But I think we all think it's valuable to seek some synergies, conventions, try to reduce complexity within some of the domains. So we've said in your, let's say we said in your platform, you should have a system to get service bindings or secrets so you can connect to a backend service, like Vault or something like that. But the reality is that to connect to 10 different services from 10 different providers, you need like 10 different patterns today. And there are ways that we could learn from each other and simplify that, whether it's just having similar conventions to start with, to even, sharing a library. Like one of the things that's come up in that domain, for example, is we would love to be able to generate dynamic ephemeral credentials for services and then pump them into workloads and, let it last for a day or two, but then die. And Vault dynamic secrets engines are pretty good for that, but we don't necessarily have that, in other systems, like say Dapper. Dapper can retrieve secrets from a secret store, but it can't use, like, say, Vault secrets engines to generate. I think of the service binding runtime, which is in the Kubernetes Slack, which I need to talk to. A similar thing where they could use a generator, would be pretty cool. Other topics there, like portals. I mean, that's a huge one that's coming up these days with Backstage. Everybody wants something with Backstage. What does that mean? Can we break that down into software catalog and talk about, well, you want a software catalog with plugins for different service types, like GitOps providers and stuff? Let's have a standard for plugins into your software catalog. In fact, there's a little discussion there, even with the at OpenShift, we have a dev console, and some of the innovations they've done in the dev console, they're now talking with Backstage to add to that framework. Yeah, so I wanted to bring that up. I kind of I opened some issues in our repo. I put in this doc that I copied in the notes, kind of an index to those. But yeah, like to get this going, I guess I'm bringing it up because I can help lead, but if there are people that are passionate about a certain topic or have a vision in a certain topic, like it would be great. We need to bring in the right stakeholders and then drive some discussion. So think about it. If there's things that you want to contribute, chime in on the issues or let me know. Or
Feel like there's a lot here, and I know I want to review it before I make any suggestions, but this is really good content.
cool, great. All right. So that's the end of that topic. The last one here is app definition, which we should point to the doc. That would be nice to Alois and Thomas. The initiative is to define an application spec, kind of similar to the stuff that I'm talking about. Also, find some convergence amongst all of these projects and products that require a top level application spec, application definition as a source of truth. Either, like, I think a big use case for Thomas and Alois is Keptn. Keptn wants to know when all of the components for an application are up and running, not just one component or one Helm chart. So how do you group that? Argo has an application, but then we have app of apps, which is the application as a component. So what is the app then? I don't know, I'm just saying. So take a look at that. Yeah, that's I'm just channeling Thomas and Alois on that one.
Yeah, I was very interested when he mentioned that. Internally, I shared that where I work, and someone sent me the link, which I just put in Zoom here. I said, like, is it this? So something was created in 2020. I don't know if it's a continuation of that or if that's overlap.
Nice. Paste that, I mean, put that into the, oh yeah, there's a whole repo here.
Yeah, I'll add it to the doc here.
Cool.
Yeah, I can also share my thoughts on such application object. Like based on my experience, like if you are for small companies, they don't really need such a very high level, unified application object, because they can just use Kubernetes, the raw object, it works fine. The engineers just plays with it. Like it's the big companies who has so many teams and so many objects that they need something to unify them together, right? But the problem with big companies is that they are so customized, that their delivery scenarios, their software pipelines, like this kind of stuff, it's really case by case. Yeah, so it's really hard to unify as one application object for for those big companies.
Yeah, that's really good feedback. We kind of encountered the same kind of idea in platforms. Like we use this term internal platform. What we mean is that the platform really ends up being bespoke for your organization. Like you can't take your platform and use it somewhere else, and you shouldn't try to. And you're kind of saying the same thing, like the application is per enterprise at big enterprises. Yeah. Interesting idea. Interesting point.
Just
Yeah.
to,
Go
just
ahead, Alex.
sorry, thank you. I was just curious, the document, is this a blog article they're making, or is it a kind of a plea to the Kubernetes project? What is the context for that document?
I think they want us to drive a spec like this. Maybe it would be together with Kubernetes. I mean, I'm again channeling Alois and Thomas here.
I think they are incentivized from a commercial perspective at Dynatrace to produce a long-lasting spec that ensures the life cycle of their product. I think I agree with what Hong Chau was saying, is that, well, frankly, more top-level primitives like this. So I would be surprised if they accepted it. It's interesting though, because I thought the idea is we have primitives that we can compose together. We don't need to particularly create these custom resources, and the extension of the API itself allows for all this without there needing to be a mandated application primitive. But it could be an interesting conversation or blog article.
Yeah, I mean, I also think of this because Backstage has been coming up. That's another scenario I think of. Backstage wants a source of truth for its aggregate, so that this could be a source of truth for that. But I'm not sure how important that is.
Just looking at the SIG, and it looks, yeah, looks pretty inactive. 3 years ago, 5 months ago was the last activity.
Yeah, so that's our agenda. Anything else that folks want to discuss?
Just more for more for Thomas or yourself as well. I wanted to contribute to an updated version of the operator white paper. I know that's been kicking about. How do I go about that in the technical term? Do I just create a branch off of the main, or what? What do I do?
You want to start on the operator V2 work?
Well, I have like a section I want to add, because I know we were talking about making it a living document and having a website for it eventually. I don't mind if it's in a new branch and we call it V2, but I just have like 2 or 3 paragraphs I wanted to add in. But yeah, maybe that would be the impetus for a new piece of work. I don't know. Should I do that?
Seems like a PR to add. Is there
Okay.
a markdown content? That seems like a good place to start.
Yeah, there is. So as I say, it's about a page that I want to add to the sort of patterns of operator usage that I've seen over the last year and how we're using them. And then I can open it in a new branch, and we can decide whether we want to collect more stuff in there to make it a bigger contribution or something.
Yeah, Alex, at the beginning of the call, I mentioned, I'm not sure if you've been following in Slack, but we're working on a revamped website framework, which will have a section for white papers, and the operator paper will go in there from day one. So
that's great. Will it be linked to the GitHub, or would it be like a cut of it? Like, will it be active?
it's going to be, I think the initial MVP is going to be a website directory in our repo, and we'll copy content into that. So the source of truth will still be the paper directory for now. We can talk about that.
Okay.
Copy it in.
So maybe eventually we can make it a sub module or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, maybe we could do that now. I'm setting the goal low because I want to try to get the website going by early April.
It's just super interesting because the place I work has this really weird idea of what operators are. And I think it's important to understand that the definition has really changed over the past few years. And I think it could be valuable because there are a lot of people who are looking to the CNCF and these tags for guidance on the, domain bounding what is an operator. So it could be interesting to add some more use cases. But that website sounds really cool.
Yeah, maybe that will get more attention and more. I think Jennifer, like a year ago, Jennifer tried to drum up interest in a V2, and I don't think that we were. I mean, it's hard to herd cats. So that, I think that's where that is right now, but maybe with more accessible ways to modify it.
I think what was really interesting in the V1 is that we had to set a lot of the a lot of the context, you know, for these kind of ideas. I think the V2 is more going to be about the evolution of those things, in the sense that, you know, I've always believed that operators are the synthesis of human behavior rather than just a controller manager with a reconcile loop, right? I think many people fall into the latter and too few into the former. So it'll be interesting to try and revisit that ground, I think.
Cool. Yeah, Alex, if you get that in maybe before KubeCon and we, you know, start sharing around that website, if we do well with it and it's ready by early April, that might, yeah, that might be a good.
I'll try and find a block of time this week to put a couple of hours in and see if I can open a PR up, okay?
Cool, thank you. You know, I should also, I didn't put it on the agenda today, but we should have it here because it's getting close and is KubeCon. Just want to, there's a chance here to call everyone's attention to it. Let me copy in the doc on it. KubeCon. So we're gonna have a pre-day, and actually we need to create a blog post, and I have an issue out there, but I haven't been able to do it. But if either me or somebody, we need to create a blog post that tells about this whatever's in that Word doc and kind of splash it around. Today's Wednesday. I might get to it by the end of the week because it's now or never, basically. So we're trying to do a 4-hour meetup the day before in the afternoon. A mix of talking about work that we're doing here in the tag, things like the operator paper or the platforms work or these capabilities work, and hopefully maybe some short talks. That's what I'm hoping we can get, you know, 10-minute talks from folks on something really, you know, significant or new or innovative in what they work on. That's kind of what we're thinking about. We'll also have.
Sorry, Josh, just remind me the date. Is that the Tuesday?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Meet up on Tuesday, 4/18 at 1 p.m. somewhere near the main venue or in the main venue. And then we'll have a booth Wednesday through Friday, a half booth, so we don't have it the whole time, but a lot of the time. And we have some ideas about what to do with that booth in the doc. We could have project presentations there, we could have meetups there, we could just facilitate, you know, cross-cutting discussions there. Long tail projects could show up there, you know, projects don't have their own booth to represent themselves. So if you have thoughts or want to help, write something in there or ping in the Slack or however you want to reach out.
I'm happy to contribute. I'll be around.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, we need whatever help we could get. And if you're not contributing, folks, please feel free to join us. We'd love to see you.
It might be kind of cool to do the kind of like, as you said, there's cross-cutting discussions, because there's a really low bar to entry. Anybody can just jump in and listen to somebody, you know, a couple of people talk about something interesting and, you know, join the conversation. And it's also kind of a good way to get contributors, because they can feel like they're participating in the tag without being in the tag, and suddenly they're in the tag, right?
Alex, are you thinking of like designated times at the booth? Like, hey,
yeah, almost saying like just a really high level agenda of, you know, we're going to be discussing operators or AI ML or whatever it might be, you know, all those kind of interesting topics that are kind of loosely related to our tag.
yeah, I love that actually. And the chaos, GitOps. I mean, GitOps is, yeah, I just put down 4 right there. Yeah, I like that. Like, say we're gonna have a meetup now for people that want to talk about operators. And we'll just, it's an hour, and we'll pull, like, I know, like, I'll tell the Red Hat folks work on operator framework, and you know, we can pull in a couple folks that are relevant, like in the platforms one, you know, we'll pull in someone from Crossplane and Kratix or something. GitOps will pull in Argo and Flux and whoever. Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah, I like that. So if anyone wants to help with that, if you want to run a specific discussion, we could use probably leaders on that. Facilitators, I guess. So
I can certainly do one. I'm just going to check when my flight gets in because I think I fly in that morning,
Wednesday or Tuesday, Alex?
Tuesday.
Cool.
This would be on the Wednesday, is that right?
The booth would be Wednesday.
Oh, that's
and-
fine then. Yeah, I'll be there. Okay.
Yeah, probably Wednesday and Thursday. Oops. Wednesday and Thursday afternoon are the times to target for stuff.
Amsterdam is it's GMT +1, is that right?
The 1 p.m. that I put there.
What time zone is it in? Is it GMT +1?
What time is Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure. I live in America. I look up Europe only when I'm coming over. No, just
It's CEST. So GMT +1, yeah.
I think that's it.
I guess maybe next time, if Thomas is available, I'd be interested to see how we want to restructure Potato Head repo stuff. Seems like he has some good ideas and started already knocking those out.
Yeah, good call. He's if you all are wondering, if you go to the Project Potato Head Slack channel, he's Thomas has been suggesting some new things there. There is, relevant to that, I guess I'll also mention there is we're trying to get together like a prototype platform, maybe combining some of this stuff from Potato Head. I mean, this has been my dream for a couple years, to be honest. But maybe if you're interested in helping there, it's getting into conference season, so I have to start putting together my demos, and I'm like, well, might as well do something that can be shared. So that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, if you start taking a crack at that, I'd definitely be interested to pair or async work on that.
Yeah, we need to get some sort of stake in the ground. I did mention to Leanne and not Mauricio so much, but Leanne. Maybe I'll try to follow up on that soon.
Cool.
Follow up on. Okay. So should we do going once, going twice? That was too fast. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you all for joining. Yeah, and have a good day or night, and
Thank you, Josh. Have a good day too.
have a good
Thanks all. Later.